Broken Promises, the hidden story of Chang Wook and Nam Ji-hyun's painful goodbye. What if I told you that behind the smiles, behind the laughter, behind the perfectly scripted chemistry we all fell in love with, there was heartbreak? What if I told you that one of the most beloved K-drama duos, Chang Wook and Nam Ji-hyun, once shared a bond so real, so deep, that it blurred the line between fiction and reality, but ended in silence, tears, and promises that were never kept? This is the hidden story of two souls who found each other on screen, but lost each other off it. Hold on tight, K-drama family. The world of your favorite celebrities is unfolding before your eyes, and every moment is more breathtaking than the last. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications right now, because trust me, you do not want to miss what's coming next. It began, as most legends do, under the bright lights of a film set. Suspicious Partner, 2017. A romantic legal drama that would not only captivate audiences but would also mark a turning point in both of their lives. Chang Wook, already a rising star known for his charismatic charm and intensity. Nam Ji-hyun, a quiet, radiant talent, loved for her sincerity and warmth. When they met for the first script reading, something electric happened. Crew members would later recall that the room changed, that there was an instant comfort between them. Chang Wook's serious demeanor softened, Nam Ji-hyun's gentle smile seemed to pull him in without effort. And when the camera started rolling, that connection only deepened. Their characters were written to fall in love, but somewhere between the rehearsals, the stolen glances, and the laughter between takes, the line between acting and feeling began to blur. Behind the scenes, staff whispered about their closeness. He would often linger near her between breaks, brushing her hair aside before a take, sharing quiet jokes only they understood. She would bring him snacks, laugh at his tired expressions, gently scold him when he overworked himself. To the world, it was just chemistry. To those who knew them, it was something more. But then, just as their story was beginning to unfold, time ran out. Chang Wook was called to serve his mandatory military enlistment, the moment every fan dreads, and every rising star fears. The announcement came like a storm, he would leave soon after the drama ended. During the final days of filming, the mood on set shifted. There was laughter, yes, but also an unspoken heaviness. He knew he had to go. She knew she would have to let him. In one of their final interviews together, when asked if they would keep in touch, Chang Wook smiled and said softly, "I'll call her. I promised." Nam Ji-hyun smiled back, but her eyes told a different story. Promises. We make them so easily when we believe time will keep them safe. But time changes everything. 2 years later, Chang Wook returned from the military. Fans cheered, the industry buzzed, but something had changed. He was older. Quieter. She had grown too, stepping into new roles, redefining herself as one of Korea's most versatile actresses. And yet, when fans looked closely, there was always a trace of the past, a certain softness when his name came up in interviews, a faint smile when her scenes from Suspicious Partner were mentioned. Rumors began to swirl again. Did they meet after his discharge? Did he reach out to her, as he once promised? No one knew. But insiders whispered of one quiet evening, an after-party, months after his return. She arrived late, dressed simply, without her usual sparkle. He was already there, sitting with friends, laughter filling the room, until his eyes caught hers. Witnesses described the silence that followed. The air changed. The laughter faded. They greeted each other politely, two professionals, two old friends. But there was something raw in that exchange, something unsaid. And then, they walked away. Separate directions. Separate lives. Behind the scenes, those close to them hinted that things had been complicated. Timing. Distance. Expectations. He was rebuilding his career after 2 years away. She was moving forward, unwilling to be seen as the girl waiting for someone who might never return. Still, even in their silence, their story refused to fade. Fans replayed their old interviews, the way he looked at her when she spoke, the way her laughter softened him. Clips from Suspicious Partner trended again and again, resurfacing with captions like "You can't fake chemistry like this." And perhaps that was the truth, you can't fake what was real, even if it was brief. In 2021, during an appearance on a talk show, Chang Wook was asked if he'd ever had feelings for a co-star. He paused, longer than expected. Then smiled and said, "Sometimes, it happens. You just don't always know what to do with those feelings." The audience laughed. But to those who remembered, it wasn't just an answer. It was a confession, hidden between words, veiled by professionalism. Hyun, in her quiet grace, never addressed the topic directly. But in a rare interview that same year, when asked about first loves and goodbyes, she said softly, "Sometimes people meet at the right place, but the wrong time. You learn to be grateful that it happened at all." It was all she said. And it was all we needed to hear. Today, they both stand tall in their careers, respected, admired, and endlessly loved by fans around the world. But for those who saw them together, those who watched that spark ignite and fade, there will always be that haunting question. What if? What if timing had been kinder? What if that promise had been kept? But time has a way of reshaping everything, even love, even memory. During his military service, Chang Wook became quieter, more introspective. Fellow soldiers would describe him as polite, hardworking, but distant, like someone who had left something unresolved behind. When he spoke of his work, he always circled back to Suspicious Partner. He'd joke about how it was the last time he got to smile without pretending. A curious phrase, one that only those who knew about Nam Ji-hyun understood. Meanwhile, Nam Ji-hyun was learning how to move on, or at least, how to appear as though she had. She threw herself into new projects, surrounded herself with friends, took on roles that challenged her image. But sometimes, during interviews, when asked about her favorite co-star, her answers carried that same quiet nostalgia. Working with him felt natural. Like breathing. And the fans noticed. They always do. When Chang Wook returned from the army, fans expected a reunion, a public collaboration, a playful social media post, something to remind them that their favorite on-screen couple still shared that bond. But none came. Instead, what surfaced was tension, subtle, invisible, yet unmistakable. During a 2020 press event, a reporter asked him if he had plans to work with Nam Ji-hyun again. His smile was gentle but distant as he said, "We've both grown a lot. Maybe someday, if the script is right." Those who knew him best say he avoided her name for a while, not out of bitterness, but protection. Because sometimes the memories we guard most fiercely are the ones we can't revisit without breaking. Years have passed now. Both have grown into pillars of Korean entertainment, elegant, mature, untouchable. They no longer speak publicly about each other. But sometimes, silence says more than words ever could. In 2023, during an award show, the camera caught something fans couldn't stop talking about. Nam Ji-hyun walked onto the stage to present, and from the audience, Chang Wook stood and clapped. It was brief. A few seconds. But when their eyes met, that same softness returned, the one fans remembered from years before. A flicker. A heartbeat. Proof that even after everything, there was no anger. Only history. So, what really happened? Did they ever find closure? Or are they both still carrying what they left unsaid? The truth is, we may never know. Because not every story is meant to be complete. Some are meant to remain unfinished, beautiful in their imperfection, powerful in their silence. What we do know is this. Two people met, changed each other, and then walked away, not because they stopped caring, but because love, sometimes, demands distance. And maybe that's what makes their story endure. Because deep down, fans don't just remember Suspicious Partner as a drama, they remember it as a moment when real hearts met under fictional light. And so, the legend of Chang Wook and Nam Ji-hyun continues, whispered through interviews, replayed through fan edits, immortalized in the eyes of those who still believe that what they shared was more than acting. Because even if time took them apart, the truth remains. They were real. Real smiles. Real warmth. Real love, hidden behind broken promises. And perhaps, in another lifetime under softer skies, they'll find each other again. Not as co-stars. Not as characters. But as two people finally brave enough to finish what they once began.